Some of you are probably already triggered. My bad, I should have put a trigger warning on the video title for all the current college students. Okay, I'm probably going to get a lot of heat for this video. We all probably have strong feelings about this topic, whether they are in one direction or the other, but my point is not to offend, but to have a discussion about why feminism is being attacked so harshly on one side and defended like the city of Gondor in Lord of the Rings on the other. We live in dividing times, but haven't we always? Why not try to build a bridge on such a divide rather than continually burn one? Maybe it'll help, but then again, maybe it won't. Hello everyone, Thought Monkey here. Today we're going to explore the topic of feminism and why it has created such a divide in the US and probably other places too. First, a quick history of feminism. Feminism first arose as a political and social movement in the late 1800s and early 1900s. We call this period of feminism First Wave Feminism. The goal was simple: create laws that give women equal rights. Some laws were for things like marriage, parenting, property rights, and the right to vote. You see, the rights of women in history and in almost every country have been subjected to the power of men, and many of their rights have been trampled on. Of course, this isn't really a controversial idea, and it's accepted by all but the most ignorant of people today. Women throughout history have gotten the short end of the stick, and if you deny that, well, I don't even know what to say about that. In the 1960s, second wave feminism begins. This is where the controversy begins. Second wave feminism focused and continues to focus on wider issues like sexuality, reproductive rights, and domestic violence. In essence, you can think of it as fighting against gender discrimination, and many of these rights are still being fought for around the US and the world. Second wave feminists also believe that we live in a sexist power structure, in a society and political system that dictates how the personal lives of women should be. If you've ever watched the show Mad Men or any movie set before the 1960s, you'll know what I'm talking about. Very few women were able to work in business and hardly any in the government. That was the man's place. Again, this is not very controversial. It hasn't been until recently that women have been able to work in fields like business or the government. And women still don't have a lot of the rights second wave feminists have been fighting for the past 50 years. And partly because of this, in the 1990s, third wave feminism began. It started in response to the perceived failures of second wave feminism. Part of that was also because women of color were not included in second wave feminism. Third wave feminism, thus, was born. There are two main problems that third wave feminists have with second wave feminists. First, they both think of sexuality in different ways. Think of it like this: second wave feminists are against porn and think it's degrading to women. But third wave feminists are all good with porn as long as the woman is a consenting adult. In fact, many believe it's empowering. Second, third wave feminists tried to expand feminism so that it doesn't just represent what white women want, but instead it tries to include women of all backgrounds. In fact, Rebecca Walker created the term third wave to put focus on queer women and women of color. Third wave feminists focus less on political changes and more on individualistic identity, things like queer theory and gender roles. Okay, so you might ask yourself what the problem is. I mean, women of color, queer people, and white women all deserve to live in a just society that respects them regardless of their identity and doesn't discriminate against them because of it. So far, everything is common sense, right? Women want the right to be respected regardless of their self-described gender, sexuality, race, etc. I totally get that. But then, something weird happens. I think this is where most of the controversy in feminism happens. Look, women totally should have equal protection under the law, have access to the same opportunities as men, and should be free to decide what they want to do with their bodies. But in recent years, third wave feminists have moved into uncharted territory. Some advocate the act of reclaiming derogatory terms such as cunt, bitch, and whore. Really? Good luck with that. One third wave feminist wrote in her book, "All Women Are Bitches, I intend to scream, shout, race the engine, call when I feel like it, throw tantrums in Bloomingdale's if I feel like it, and confess intimate details about my life to complete strangers. I intend to do what I want to do and be whom I want to be and answer only to myself." That is, quite simply, the bitch philosophy. Bitch philosophy reminds me a lot like a spoiled little brat. By all means, be a bitch then, but don't expect me or anyone else to like you or to want your company, and don't expect Bloomingdale's security to just sit there and watch you and your bad behavior. This is the problem with feminism in today's culture. Feminism is a great idea. Women should have the same rights as men, and there should be laws that protect them from injustices and oppression. This, again, is not controversial. Women of color should be given the same rights and protection as white women, as men of color, as white men, queer people too, transgender people too, every fucking one. Everyone should be protected from injustices the same as everyone else and have access to the same opportunities as everyone else. That's a no-brainer. The modern third wave feminist, however, alienates almost everyone but herself. Take a look at this video for a second. This woman is a feminist.
My name is Zana, and I'm doing this video because we need to talk. It's become clear to me that a great deal of us suffer from the illness of patriarchy, and it's not just the men who suffer. Women can be patriarchal too. So many things in our system today come from patriarchy, including racism, colonialism, capitalism, classism, and of course, sexism. White liberals and men in general have been told over and over again that if they just never use the N-word and they never talk about race and they never physically molest anyone, then they're not racist or sexist. So when I point out that actually the system of power we live in ensures that all white people are racist and all men are sexist because they profit from a system that marginalizes people of color and non-males, they attack me.
Feminists, do you really want this person representing your cause? You need to change your language to incorporate the masses and to incorporate men. Most men will not get behind your cause if you talk in a way that shows your hatred of men. In fact, most women won't either. The problem with feminism in the 21st century is just that. A minority of feminists speak in a way that makes them out to be the victims of every man's actions, of the patriarchy. Again, there are many things still wrong with the way society treats women, and change should happen. So you want change? Then think about hiring a marketing manager to help you structure your campaigns so that people will actually listen to you. Start telling stories that will speak to the masses, not just yourself. Thank you for watching this episode of Thought Monkey. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up below and subscribe to stay updated with my latest Thought Monkey content.